Hello yoga friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and this is the 31-day yoga challenge where we do 20 minutes of yoga a day for 31 days. Today is day 25 and today is all about aligning. We won't be needing any props for today's practice, and as always there is a free playlist linked down below in case you'd like to listen to some tunes while you practice. So without further ado, let's get started here in Sukhasana Easy Pose. Coming to an easy seat here, maybe placing the palms down onto the knees for some grounding energy, or palms up to harness some energy from the universe. Maybe placing one hand over the heart and one over the belly, whatever feels comfortable for you. Go ahead and flutter the eyes closed or take a soft gaze and begin to even out the breath. In and out through the nostrils, coming into the present moment. We'll begin our practice by setting an intention. Anything that comes to mind is wonderful, and if nothing comes to mind, you can always use this one. I am aligned with my highest self. I am aligned with my highest self. And whatever intention you chose for yourself today, begin to inhale that through the nose deep into the belly. And open the mouth, sigh. Exhale out anything extra you may have brought onto your mat today. Taking that one more time, inhaling through the nose deep into the belly. And open the mouth, sigh. Exhale out anything extra. Knowing you can always come back to that intention throughout practice and perhaps throughout the rest of your day. Coming back to that even breath now. Let's flutter the eyes open if they're not there already. And next inhale, we're going to bring the arms out into a T. Exhale, cross right arm over left, giving yourself a nice big hug. Option to stay here, or maybe you come into eagle arms. Making sure your shoulders are down and relaxed. Elbows away from the chest here. 2 rounds of breath. On your next inhale, let's bring those arms out into a T. And exhale, left over right, giving yourself a nice big hug and maybe moving into eagle arms. 2 more rounds of breath. Next, inhale, let's bring those arms out into a T. And exhale that right hand down on the mat, left arm overhead, opening through the left side body here for 2 rounds of breath. Inhale back up to center, arms to a T. And exhale, left palm down to the mat, right arm overhead, opening through that right side body, 2 rounds of breath. Next, inhale, come back to center, arms to a T, and float those palms down on the knees here as we find some seated cat-cows. Inhaling, looking up to the sky, arching the back for seated cow. Exhale, chin to chest, rounding the spine for cat. Let's repeat that 2 more times. Inhaling to cow and exhaling to cat. Connecting breath to body. And on your next inhale, coming back up to that seated position, we're going to find our way all the way down onto our bellies here. Bringing hands just under shoulders, elbows back by the sides. Next inhale, let's press up to baby cobra, lifting the head and the chest off the mat. 2 rounds of breath here. And next, exhale, gently lower that forehead back onto the mat. And then inhale, press up into baby cobra. Option to hover those hands above the mat, really activating those lower back muscles here. And next, exhale, lower everything down to the mat. And inhale, let's press up into a tabletop. And then flex both feet, walking the palms slightly forward, pressing the hips up and back, finding our first downward facing dog. Maybe pedaling through the feet or generously bending the knees. Making sure the feet are hip width distance or wider. Shoulders down and back, neck nice and released, eyes of the elbows pointed towards the front of the mat, and all 10 fingers spread wide. We'll stay here in our downward facing dog, maybe finding some organic movement or breathing in stillness for 3 more rounds of breath. And next, inhale, let's rise up to the balls of the feet. Step, hop, or float forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, shoulders down and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up the spine 1 vertebrae at a time to Tadasana, mountain pose. And then inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, plant the palms, step, hop, or float back. Flow as you so choose. And I'll meet you in downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath here. And next, inhale, rise up to the balls of the feet. Step, hop, or float forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to the sky, arms overhead. And exhale, sit down into Utkatasana, chair pose. Feet together or hip width distance apart. Making sure our shoulders are directly above our knees and we can see all 10 toes here. Keeping those arms overhead. 2 more rounds of breath. And on your next inhale, we're going to shift the weight onto the left leg. And then as we straighten that left leg, we're going to pick up that right for 1 leg Tadasana, right foot flexed. And then exhale that right foot to the back of the mat for high crescent. And then pivot all 10 toes to the right side of the mat for a wide-legged stance. And exhale, forward fold. Staying here for 5 rounds of breath. Maybe taking ragdoll by grabbing opposite elbows or wrapping the hands around the ankles. Whatever feels good here. Maybe keeping eyes open just to notice the change in perspective. And on your next inhale, let's find half lift, palms to the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, gently bend the knees and roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Coming all the way into star pose by allowing the arms to come overhead nice and wide. And next inhale, let's pivot all 10 toes to the front of the mat for high crescent. And then exhale, those palms down to the mat. Step the left foot back, flow as you so choose. And I'll meet you in downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath here. And next inhale, rising up to the balls of the feet. Step, hop, or float forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to the sky, arms overhead, and exhale, sit down in Utkatasana, chair pose. Arms overhead. 2 more rounds of breath here, making sure those abdominals are nice and activated so you're not dumping into the lower back. On your next inhale, we're going to shift the weight onto the right leg. As we straighten through that right leg, we're going to pick up the left into one-leg Tadasana. And then exhale that left foot towards the back of the mat for high crescent. And pivot all 10 toes to the left side of the mat for a wide-legged stance. Let's go ahead and turn those toes out to the corners of the mat. And exhale, bend both knees, bring the palms down onto the thighs here. I'm going to turn around so you can see this, but stay where you are. And the next exhale, we're going to bring that right shoulder into the center. Inhale, back up. Exhale, left shoulder into the center. Inhale, back up. We'll do that one more time each side. Exhale, right shoulder in. Inhale, back up. Exhale, left shoulder in. Inhale, back up. Exhaling here. And then inhale, straighten through both legs, coming back into star pose, arms overhead, nice and wide. And then next inhale, let's pivot all 10 toes to the front of the mat for a high crescent, and exhale those palms down, stepping that right foot back, flowing as you so choose. And I'll meet you in downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath here. From here, we're going to inhale to high plank. Always option to lower your knees if you'd like. Exhaling here, and then inhale. Let's move into side plank by rolling on the outer edge of that left foot and bringing that right arm up in the air. 1 more round of breath on this side, making sure that left wrist is directly under the left shoulder. And then exhale, back to high plank. Stay for 1 breath. And then on your next inhale, let's move to the outer edge of that right foot, extending that left arm up in the air. 1 more round of breath. And next exhale, coming back to high plank, staying here for 1 full round of breath. And then next exhale, very gently lower all the way down to the mat. And inhale, let's press back into child's pose. Just for 2 rounds of breath to counter that. And next, inhale, rolling up the spine. Let's bring both legs out in front of us, flexing the feet. And sitting up nice and tall here in staff pose, shoulders down and relaxed, palms just on the outer edges of the hips. Just feeling that neutral spine. And then next inhale, we're going to inhale, arms overhead, and exhale, fold over those legs. Maybe placing the hands on the shins or around the balls of the feet, or maybe around the heels. Staying here for 5 rounds of breath. And on your next inhale, gently rolling up the spine back into that seated staff pose. Taking 1 round of breath here, and then extending both the arms forward, and exhale, lower all the way down onto the back. Inhale both knees into the chest and allowing the arms to come out into a T on the mat. Let's exhale both legs over to the left for a supine twist, making sure that right shoulder stays on the mat, an option to gaze over the right fingertips. We'll stay in this supine twist for about a minute here. And next, inhale, bringing those legs through center, and then exhale over to the right for a supine twist on the opposite side, making sure that left shoulder remains on the mat, option to gaze over the left fingertips. And next, inhale those knees back into the chest. And exhale both feet onto the ground, keeping the knees bent. We're going to set up for bridge pose, making sure legs are about hip width distance here, bringing arms down by the sides, palms facing the mat. Next, inhale, pressing through the feet, and then lifting the pelvis. And exhale, coming back down to the earth. We'll take that 2 more times, inhaling, lifting the pelvis. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. And then let's inhale, lift the pelvis 1 more time. We're going to stay here for 4 rounds of breath, maybe clasping the hands on the mat, walking the shoulder blades in, remaining where you are. And on your next exhale, very gently lower all the way down onto the earth. Inhaling, knees into the chest once more. An option to grab onto the outer edges of the feet, moving into happy baby. Bringing the knees towards the armpits here, maybe finding a little rocking motion from side to side. We'll stay here for 2 more rounds of breath. And then on your next few rounds of breath, slowly transitioning into your Shavasana for the day. Maybe taking a traditional Shavasana by extending your legs out in front of you, bringing your arms out to the sides, or maybe hands on belly and or heart. Fluttering the eyes closed if they're not there already. Adjusting any clothing or hair that might be distracting. And scanning the body for any tension we can exhale. And allowing yourself to stop being a human doing and just be a human being. I will let you know when it's time to come out of your Shavasana, but for now, simply rest. And you are welcome to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you'd like. But if you'd like to close out class with me today, begin to bring awareness back to your breath. Introducing some movement into the body, maybe by wiggling your fingers and toes, rolling through the wrists and ankles, maybe windshield wipering the feet or knees from side to side, finding any organic movement to wake the body back up. And then very gently rolling onto one side for a fetal position, bending the knees, using the bottom arm as a pillow, taking one round of breath here, and on your next inhale, gently pressing your way up into Sukhasana, easy pose, keeping your eyes closed or in a soft gaze, bringing hands to heart center. I want to thank you for coming to class with me today and sharing your energy. We'll close our practice with the sound of Om. Inhaling through the nose deep into the belly. And bringing thumbs to third eye. May the light and love in me recognize and honor the light and love in you. Namaste.